Hey guys, it's Kelsey and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, be sure to subscribe and hit that notifications bell. You can also find me on Instagram at kelsey.ryan. Alright, so today I'm going to show you how I do some of the different nursing skills. So I have everything set up. I'm going to show you how I drop medications, flush IVs, how I insert an IV, and then how I hang up some tubing. And I'm also going to show you how I put on sterile gloves with one hand. Okay, so first I'm going to show you guys how I draw up medications and then push them into the IV. So I'm going to put on my gloves. Actually, I'll show you guys how I put on regular gloves too. So I just put the left one on regular, and then I actually put this one for my arm. I put it on inside out so that the fingers aren't dangling everywhere. Like that. Okay, so now I'm going to show you guys how I drop the medication. So I'm going to open up packages first. Okay, so I have my syringe and I have my needle. So I'm going to screw that on, and then I can take the cap off the needle. So now I'm going to drop some air. Okay, drop some air. And now I'm going to put the air into the little bottle. So insert the air, and then I bring it up like this, and then I pull the syringe back to whatever, value that you need. Okay, so I got my value. So then I'm going to flip it back and take it off. So now that I'm done with this needle, I'm just going to lock it off. So now the needle can't be used anymore. So now screw it off. Okay, so now I'm going to push that medication into the patient's IV that we just drew up. Okay, so normally I'd have an alcohol swab and I'd clean that port off. So once that's done drying, I will hold the port down with my arm and I will screw the syringe in with my hand. So that's screwed in. Make sure your IV is unclamped, and then you can go ahead and start pushing. Okay, so the medication is pushed, and then same thing, hold it down, unscrew, and then clamp your IV. Alright, so now I'm going to show you guys how I insert an IV. So I have all of my supplies here. I have my flush, my dressing, my needle, and my tourniquet. Okay, so first I'm going to put the tourniquet on the patient. So it's a little hard to do it on the mannequin arm because it's wobbling so much, so I'll show you the best way I can. So I'm going to take both sides of the tourniquet, and then I'm going to pull, and then I'm going to switch to the opposite. See, it's wobbling. And then just loop under like that, and there you have your tourniquet. Okay, so now I'm going to clean off the arm with some ChlorPrep after I have found the vein that I like, which I found this one right here that I think is going to be good. So I'll clean it off. Make sure it's nice and clean. And even doing this rubbing motion can help the vein to puff up a little bit more. Okay, so it's nice and clean. Go ahead and let that dry. Alright, the patient's hand is finished drying, so now I am ready to insert the IV. So before I even insert it, I am actually going to hook up the saline syringe to this little port right here, so that I don't have to fidget with all that once I get the IV in. So I'm just going to take that out. And so now I'm going to take this off of here and screw that in like that. So now that's already all set up and I don't even have to deal with it after I get the IV in. So I'm going to take this off, the little cap, and I will get ready to insert the Okay, so now I'm going to insert the IV. So if you want to take a look at my hand, I have my pointer finger right at this point, and then I have my middle finger and my thumb like that. Okay, so I'm going to insert. And then on a real patient, you'll start to notice if there's blood in the chamber, that means you've gotten the vein. So we're going to say that there's blood in this chamber. So at this point, I'm going to thread the needle. So I'm going to push and pull the back with these two fingers. So push with this finger, pull with these. So push and pull. Okay, so now the needle is off. All right, so the IV is in, and what I like to do, I like to put the dressing on to stabilize it right away. So I'm going to put this dressing on. You want to make sure that you can see the IV. So I have that dressing on, so it's stable, it's not going to go anywhere. Okay, and then I am going to flush my IV to make sure it's working. And it's flushing, so we got it good. Okay, and then yep, even getting some blood return, so that's really good. Okay, so now I can unhook this. All right, so now I'm gonna actually put one of these green caps on there to prevent any infection or anything like that. And then for the dressing, you can take this off. And then I like to tape. I got some tape ready. You want to tape that down so it's not just dangling. Okay, so that's taped down. You can tape down anywhere else you'd like, and then sometimes you'll put your initials on there to let them know that you're the one who put the IV in, and you'll put the date and the time. Now I'm going to show you how I remove the IV. So I'm first just going to start by taking the tape off. You want to be gentle so that you don't just rip out the IV before it's ready. So I like to hold on to the IV and then just take the tape off with my hand. Okay, so now the tape is off the patient. Okay, so now all the tape is off the patient, so you're going to put some gauze here, apply a little bit of pressure. So I apply the pressure with my arm, and then I take the needle out with my hand. So now I'm still applying pressure, and I'm going to take some tape that I already had prepared, and I'm going to put it on the patient's hand. Okay, and that's how you remove an IV. Next, I'm going to show you how to draw blood from the patient. It's pretty much the same way as inserting an IV. So you'll clean it off with the prep, and then once you find that vein that looks good, you'll go ahead and insert the IV, or the needle. Go ahead and insert, and you can see there's blood coming down the tubing. So now that I've gotten the needle in and I've gotten blood return, I am going to put the lab tubing into this here, stick it in, and it's going to suck the blood into the tubing. Now on a normal patient it would actually fill up the tubing, but this is a mannequin arm and it's not working very well. But that's the idea of it. Alright, so next I'm going to show you how I hang up some tubing. So this bag has already been spiked, which is actually what I wanted to show you guys. So I'm just going to kind of talk you through I spike the bags. So normally I see nurses hang it up and they spike like that, but that's a little difficult for me to do because of my arm. So what I came up with is I put the bag on the table. So what I like to do is I sit the bag on the table. You can see the opening right here and where you spike it in, like that. So what I do is I usually hold my arm down like that and I'll push it in, like that. And it always works for me. It goes right in and then I just press it to make sure it is all the way in and I see that fluid fills up in the chamber. Alright, for the last thing, I'm going to show you guys how I put on sterile gloves with one hand. Okay, so I have my gloves here. So I'm going to take my left hand and make like kind of this shape with my hand to go ahead and start putting the glove on. And I'm going to try and get my fingers in as much as I can. Okay, so that's in pretty far. So then I'm actually going to flip my hand and take my arm and put it inside the glove so then I can push the fingers in. Mm-hmm. Now these gloves are actually a little too small for me, so it's a little more of a struggle, but I'm just pulling the fingers all the way on. Okay, so now I have the glove on my left hand. So now, time for my right arm. As I mentioned in the beginning of the video, I like to put my gloves on inside out so that the fingers aren't dangling. So that's the same with the sterile gloves I like to do. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to turn the glove sideways because this is all sterile still. I haven't touched it with my arm or anything. I'm then going to take this side and push down the fingers because that's sterile too. Nothing's touched it. And roll the glove out. I'm then going to take the hand that my sterile glove is on and put my fingers in there as much as I can. Okay, so I have my fingers in. Then I'm going to take my arm and just shove it in. So now it's inside out. I don't have to worry about the fingers and the sterile gloves are on. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful for you. If you have any more questions on, how I do certain things with one hand, like putting the IV in, drawing up the medications, the sterile gloves, which I know is kind of difficult. It does take a lot of practice, so that is my biggest tip. Practice, practice, practice. But like I said, if you have any questions, leave those in the comments below and I'd be happy to answer those. Let me know if you guys have a different video you'd like me to do in the comments below. Be sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more. Thanks. Bye.